So these are the little tiny ways that nursing has changed my life. Number one, gas. I do not worry about filling up my gas tank. When I go to the pump, I don't even look at how much it's gonna cost. I tell them to fill it up, no problem, no ifs, ands, or buts. I do not have to worry about that. And just this time last year, I didn't even have $10 to put in my gas. I was struggling to find $20 to get to and from school, to and from nursing school, and now, just 1 year later, I don't worry about that anymore. Number two, and this is probably like the biggest and most important thing for me, when I go to the grocery store, I put whatever I want in my grocery cart. I put whatever my family needs in my grocery cart. Of course, I'm not grabbing 3 grocery carts and filling them all up, but I'm saying that to say, like, if I need to get dinner for tonight and 3 more nights from now, if I need to get dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next 2 weeks, I can do that and not have to worry about how much that's gonna cost when it gets to register, because I know that I can pay for it and I got it. I planned and booked our Disney vacation in 2 days, and I did not have to bat an eye about paying for it. Last year, I so desperately wanted to take my son to Disney for his birthday, and I could not because we could not afford the plane tickets. Me and my family, like, we don't really vacation because it's not in the budget, and I know that that's not a reality for a lot of people. So I'm very, very grateful for that, and I just can't even believe that we're going to Disney, and I know that my kids are going to be freaking ecstatic. I've been able to help my family when they call me. I'm always the person calling my family, like, I need money for this, or I need money for that, and me not ever being able to give it back to them broke my heart, or them not being able to come to me for that. But now, if my family needs me, I can just give it to them. I say how much and I send it. No big deal, no problem. And the biggest one, the biggest freaking one, I don't worry about paying my bills. I don't worry about paying my bills. If the bill comes, I pay it. Simple. Like, of course, we were paying our bills before, but it was more so like, damn, like, the rent is due, damn, the electric bill is due, like, what are we gonna have left after? And now, like, that's not like a giant problem. Life has been a lot different for me and my family in the past 3 months than it ever has been. And the crazy part is, it's that extra money to do anything else that was always a problem, and now being able to provide that for my family is such a blessing, and I'm so grateful to God, and nursing truly changed my life. So, if you're thinking about going to nursing school, go. If you're in nursing school, hold on, because I promise you, it's...
Hey y'all, it's the Nurse Fairy, and boy, are y'all ready for some tea today? Today we're doing a paycheck transparency video as a new grad RN. Yeah. Now when I was in nursing school, I used to eat these videos up, so it's only right I do my turn and I put y'all up in my business, okay? 2 disclaimers. Number 1, we're going to be nice, kind, and respectful to each other in these comments. We are going to advocate for ourselves. I'll be like, hey girl, I paid this in this city. You'll pay that? Oh, maybe I should ask for more money. Maybe that's just, you know what I mean? We're going to be respectful. And number 2, in the month of March, I'm getting paid 3 times. I've only been paid twice. We're missing a 3rd check, but I'm gonna tell you what I got so far. Okay, so like I said, I've only gotten 2 of my 3 checks this month, but within these 2 checks I've made, I have made a grand total, and this is after taxes, $3,802.73 after taxes and like the things that I get taken out. My first check was for $1,777.43. And my second check that I just got was for $2,025.30. Now we can get to the gross pay. Okay, so my computer's running a little slow, so I only have the most recent check, like gross information. But the gross earnings for my most recent check was for $2,576.86. The total amount of taxes taken out was $398.39. And the total deductions were $153.17, which brought it to that $2,025. Now let's get into the tea. Guys, that the numbers have been discussed, so y'all can crunch them for me. So as a new grad RN working in Central Florida, I have my RN license. I have an associate's degree in nursing from Valencia College. I make $33.98 per hour. There are differentials. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but for example, like the weekend differential is like $4. So you get $4 extra every hour if you're working the weekend. And then if you work after 7, which is like the evening differential, that's $7 on top of the full. Like there's like different levels for the differentials, so you can get differentials too. But like I just started, so I've been working there at my hospital for a little bit over a month, and I've already grossed gross I've hit way over 4,000, but after taxes, 3,800 and some change. Not too bad. And like I mentioned, I have one more check coming this month, and with the hours that I have to clock in because I'm full-time, that check should be around $2,000. So my gross for the month should be close to $6,000 or over $6,000. I keep messing up gross in total, but like should be like $6,000 a month. Probably after taxes, maybe I'll gross like $5,700 total. I'm not sure. Somewhere in that ballpark. The way that I feel about the pay, about the work and everything, I'm gonna share now. So if you've been waiting, like how do I feel about it and do I think it's worth it and all that, you stay to the right part of the video. I've been learning as an adult, as a 24-year-old adult who has an apartment, one roommate, you know what I mean, takes care of her own bills and stuff like that, that being a nurse is a great profession because you have job security, job stability, and you have the freedom to move kind of however you want with it, as long as you are, maintaining a professional air to you and, you're thinking things through. You kind of have a lot of freedom. You also have a lot of freedom with your schedule. You can stack your days, which I think is fantastic. Like, when I was in orientation, my orientation was Monday through Friday, and it was driving me insane to have to do something every single day. Versus working full-time as a nurse, you're working 3 days a week. You can't really beat that. Like, you can't beat that. As far as the manual physical labor, you need to protect yourself. You do want to show up for your patients in the best possible way. But I told myself since I was in nursing school that the best nurse is the nurse who can and will and does show up. So if you are damaged and broken from overworking yourself, you can't show up for your patients. So you really have to think about that in the kind of work that you do and how you do it as well, because there's a million ways to do everything. I do feel like as a nurse, you should get paid more than what I'm getting paid. I really do think that $33.98, especially in the climate of our society, is not enough. Currently, a full tank of gas for my car, which is literally a old Toyota, or it's a Honda, is almost $50 right now. I know gas is through the roof, but that's more than my hourly, you know what I mean? And in that hour, I could run a code, do life-saving procedures within an hour. And it's that can't even fill a tank of gas. So it's when you look at it like that, I do think that not just me, but all nurses deserve to make more money than that. But like I said, I am in Central Florida. Florida does not pay nurses the best. And in other states, there are better things, there's unions, there's different hospitals in my state. So that's just my particular experience. But I do think as a 24-year-old where I pay my rent and that's kind of it, my little bills here and there, that it is great money and the most money I've ever made in 1 month, in my life. So I'm not mad, but I just wanted to share my opinions and my thoughts because these are the kind of videos that I wanted to watch when I was a nursing student to keep me motivated, but also keep my head on the right path. So keep pushing, and I hope that you guys got what you needed.
We're going to go over my last paycheck and see how much I would have made had I not worked any overtime. So my gross pay was $10,522. Net pay $7,377 with this much in deductions, and then this is just my year-to-date amount. The amount of money that I make per hour is $63.19, and I get a BSN differential of $2.53, knock shift differential of $5.95, and a weekend differential of an extra $3. If you multiply this out by 72 hours, which is what I was hired to work, that would be $5,376. However, you'll notice that that is not what I got paid, right? I got paid $10,000. So that means that by working 3 extra shifts, I worked 3 overtime shifts. Those 3 shifts made me $5,146. And that is because when I work an overtime shift, I basically get double time plus some extra incentives. I get an extra 40% of my wage whenever I pick up an extra shift, plus I get overtime, which is time and a half, plus I get extra if I take care of an ECMO patient, which I did on 2 of my overtime shifts. So yeah, even though I worked 6 days, 6 shifts to make $5,000, I worked an additional 3 and made another $5,000. Let me know if you have any questions.
Now, guess what? Guess what happened? Guess what? I got a raise. So I went from $86.91 base pay an hour to $91.69. That's just my base pay. They don't even include my night shift differential. So, you know what that means? That means that's less shifts I have to do a month now to get my $25K a month. Or just keep doing what I'm doing and make more money. But that's literally an entire $5 more base pay than I was making. What place do you know? What area do you know besides the Bay Area that gives that big of a pay increase? And I'm literally due for another raise in September. So I'll be updating y'all too. But I'm telling you, if you have not gotten to bicoastal nursing, now is the time. Now is the time. Listen to me. Now is the time. I am now making base pay $91.69. And I'm not even at the highest paid hospital.